Hey guys, my name is Seth from Cool Country Mafia. I just wanted to give you a little brief overview of our trip that we had. We stayed 5 days in Rock, West Virginia. We stayed in Rider's Paradise right there near Ziggy's Power Sports, and we rode out through Beer Can Alley every day. We did hit some Hatfield and McCoy trails, and we also rode majority of the Outlaw Trails. We rode Sophia, West Virginia, all the way up to the tunnels, all the way to Pineville, to Old Jose's for dinner, and hit a lot of those trails in there. We hit some challenging trails on the Junction trail, which was pretty dark out, and there's a lot of washouts on those trails. A few of the guys that I went with, they actually call that trail the Canyon of Death. Because of the big major washouts that was in there. We did have a few machines that almost rolled over, but not quite. But I'm going to talk about the Polaris here. Usually when I go to West Virginia, I have a lot of issues and I have a lot of problems with it because I really don't maintenance it that much here in Pennsylvania where we are located. So as soon as I got down there, I had an issue with the carrier bearing because I had a Super ATV Rhino drive shaft in it with a solid aluminum carrier housing. One flaw I will say about that whole drive line is it does not have a sealed bearing. So any dirt, dust, water, everything is all getting up inside that bearing, which it ate and chewed that bearing out as soon as we got there. I might have made it a 45-minute ride in. So I ended up replacing the whole drive shaft back to a stock drive shaft through All Balls Racing. So it has the factory carrier bearing back in it with the rubber isolator in there for any type of vibration or noise. Another issue that I had with the RZR, it does have 1,500 miles on it. The rear wheel bearings went out in it, which I will show you here later on in the video how much play is actually in my one rear wheel bearing with it. But other than that, we had a really good trip, not too many breakdowns. We did have a lot of issues with some of the Can-Ams that went with us, the Can-Am Maverick Sports and the Trails that went with us. We had a broken axle on a Can-Am, we had a bent tie rod, a blown tie rod end out on those Can-Ams as well, but we fared pretty well except for my buddy John Bennett, which had one of his doors on his four-seater came open. A UTV King's door popped open in a mud hole, caught a big rut, and tore the door pretty much completely off of the machine. So his future fiance Kelly actually had to take in kind of Dukes of Hazzard style in and out of the machine. But I'm going to go ahead to the rear of the machine here, and then we're going to go ahead and show you what the rear wheel bearing looks like on the back of the machine here. Okay, so now I'm here at the rear of the machine. We do have the fuel bead locks on here. I do run Carnivore tires, which I do really like the Carnivore tires for the terrain that you experience down in West Virginia. But there's a lot of play in this rear wheel bearing. So I literally did drive the machine approximately about 6 to 7 hours at a constant 10-15 miles per hour on the way back from Sophia, West Virginia, and the tunnels till we got back, which was great because it was the day that we were leaving, so it went right up on the trailer for the next morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. Trail diversity down there, you can experience anything from normal trails, which is Hatfield and McCoy, all the way to the Outlaws, which can be severe rock climbing, huge washouts, a lot of mud, deep mud holes, deep mud pits, and so forth and so on, which to me, I kind of like that type of riding because it's a lot of diversity in the riding that you're going to. And I'm also a person, I like challenging trails. I like to go through big mud holes. I like the washouts where you have to take and center the machine over a big washout to get it over to the other side, rock climbing, so forth and so on. But that's just a little overview of our ride this past weekend. I will be doing a video on the wheel bearing change on this because I'm going to the Kryptonite lifetime warranty guaranteed wheel bearings, and also their new tool to be able to change the bearings out trail side. So if you have an issue out on the trail and you have the tools and the capability to be able to do it, they have a bearing removal tool that will work perfectly on the trails. So until next time, tune in. We'll do the wheel bearings on the RZR and do a full once over on the machine. If you like what you see, don't forget to hit the click and subscribe button to our channel. Thanks.